Coming up on City Spotlight, we find ourselves back on location in Effingham. First, we'll talk with Lucinda Hart, the new president and CEO of the Effingham County Chamber of Commerce. We'll learn a little bit about Lucinda and talk about the leadership transition within the chamber. Also, an update on new businesses in Effingham and Effingham County, and a look ahead to 2022 with the Effingham County Chamber. Then we'll change gears and talk education in Effingham with Effingham Unit 40 Schools Superintendent Mark Doan. We'll get caught up on how the new school year is going, and we'll have an update on facility changes and upgrades within the Effingham Unit 40 School District. Season 8 rolls on, and we're on location in Effingham, here on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And hello and welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. As you can see, we are on location once again here in Season 8. We find ourselves back in Effingham. Yes, this new episode here on Effingham as we tape here on November 16th. In this first segment, we are taping here at the Effingham County Chamber of Commerce offices. And to help us out in this first segment, we welcome first time to the program, the new president and CEO of the Effingham County Chamber of Commerce, Lucinda Hart. Lucinda, pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to be here. Talked with Lucinda for the first time here. Look forward to learning a little bit about her to start off here and what's going on with the chamber here as we are taping here at the end of 2021. Lucinda, you're a first-time guest. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. So I am from Texas. I was born and raised in Texas. Mm-hmm. And so I officially started with the chamber in April while Norma Lansing was still here. Mm-hmm. She retired at the end of April. Mm-hmm. So I have taken over officially May of this year. So I guess 6 months. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going great. Let's see, it has been, this chamber is a very active chamber, so it feels like it's been more than 6 months. We've done a lot. We have done a lot. Mm-hmm. So it's going really good. You know, my main focus was, of course, the chamber in 2020 got Chamber of the Year. There's a lot of Norma's leadership. She left, she left me a really good, chamber. And so I wanted to make sure that our members didn't really feel that transition. So my focus is making sure it's been a smooth transition for our members.
A couple of years ago in Effingham, when Norma had come on the program and we taped I remember taping the segment at the studios of WEIU, a champion, a staple of the community, Norma Lansing. So she did a lot for the community. And what did you learn about Norma and the chamber in the short time that you guys were in the same spot?
Yeah. So so Norma was, with the chamber for 40 years. So that's a long time. Yeah, that's a long time.
That's unprecedented.
So, I had 2 weeks with her before she retired, and so I was just in absorption mode, Wow. And she's been very, very, she's been very helpful in the transition. She's like, call me anytime, and of course I try to be respectful of her time. She is officially retired, mm-hmm. And so I've learned so much, in regards to her leadership, the legacy she's left, and mm-hmm. a lot of the programs that actually we'll probably be talking about later throughout the, mm-hmm. The interview is that I got to roll them out. She got them started, and I get to roll them out. So
follow through.
Exactly. Yeah.
We thank Norma Lansing for all the times she contributed here on City Spotlight. So I want to follow up one more thing about you. You mentioned you're from Texas. So what brought you to Illinois? That's a far away distance there, Texas to Illinois.
Yeah. So many factors. First of all, my husband is from Jasper County,
Okay.
and so I was familiar with the area. It's in the point of my career that I could, of course, 2020 was crazy for everybody, myself included.
Right.
So I was in that position where I could relocate. My son is at Illinois State. He's a senior there. I didn't follow him, but it is nice that I get to see him a little bit, I do have a daughter. She's a freshman at the University of Texas at Dallas. But it was a combination of, like I said, it does bring us closer to my husband's family. I'm an empty nester, so I feel comfortable leaving. I'm not, like I said, it was a good transition, and I was able to relocate, and it's been great. So, yeah.
So somewhat familiar to the community because of family. As you've gotten your feet wet, just rolling with what the chamber has done to this point, what would you say is how are things going here in this latter half of 2021 in the community?
Oh goodness, I would say things. Things are going good. I mean, we still in the community, our members, I still hear as everywhere in the U.S., we're having problems finding people to work, so we're trying to, we're putting programs out there for our members. We actually in October had a virtual job fair. We've been doing virtual job fairs quarterly. We're hoping to have a live one next year, actually 2 live ones. So we're sticking also, our plan is to have 1 a quarter. So we're planning to do 2 live and 2 virtual. So, but as far as the community, that's big one. And of course, childcare, that's also an issue that, jumping on board, I am a committee. There's a group of members that are working on childcare initiatives, and I haven't been an active participant on that committee, but I am a member. I do get the minutes and the reports, and I hope to be a little bit more involved as I'm getting situated, with a job. So
okay, let's get into some of the things involving the chamber. Let's first start off. You had mentioned prior to the taping of this interview. Been to many ribbon cuttings recently.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's been great. That's a sign of what's going on in the community.
Right.
Is I have been to several ribbon cuttings, so a lot of new businesses and a big variety. Small and even large. Companies that are coming into our county. So that's been great. I don't have the exact number, but it's been several. We do have all of the ribbon cutting notices of the businesses on our press release section of our website.
Wonderful.
So.
You also said there's been some exciting renovations going on at the mall here in Effingham.
Yeah. At the mall in Effingham has been renovated. It's my understanding, of course, because I am new coming in, it's my understanding that, it had a lot of business that had left because there was, unfortunately, there was a lot of work that needed to be done to the building itself. Mm-hmm. So the city of Effingham has actually done a lot of renovations of it, and as well as it's my understanding there's been new ownership. So we've have some companies, actually this week there was a ribbon cutting at the mall, and there will be, it's anticipated that there'll be more businesses actually by the end of the year that are coming back to the mall. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll since we've kind of sped through this interview, we'll get caught up with you next time we have you on. I'd like to have you on again on the Effingham Regional Career Academy. We've talked about that a bunch with Norma. But I want to get to the chamber events and your initiatives because I know you want to share that information. So we're taping here November 16th. Tell us what's coming up in December with the chamber as far as events.
Yeah. So on Friday, December 4th, we have the Chamber's First Friday Luncheon, in which we will do, an economic forecast. So we will have, somebody from the city, as well as a banker and a real estate representative that will be speaking on the economic forecast of, our county. And then, so we can attend that during the lunch hour. And then in the evening, we'll kick off the Effingham Hometown Christmas, which starts Friday. We will do the lighting of the tree that night.
Nice.
And then it's actually a weekend event. Saturday, Santa comes to town. So lots of things, lots going on Saturday. And then Sunday as well, we'll have a ice skating rink the 3 days. And so it's going to be a lot of fun.
We are taping here in mid-November. So yes, Christmas and the holidays
right around the corner.
And so right around the corner is a new year, and I know you would like to share some thoughts and comments on the 2022 Chamber initiatives.
Yeah, so for 2022, I actually had a strategic planning session with the staff, and we've set out our calendar of not only events but initiatives that we are going to do for 2022, and we will, of course, the board will be approving the budget pretty soon. But a lot of the initiatives are, we're going to be doing, a lot of workforce development initiatives. We're going to continue on with providing, like I mentioned, the job fairs. We will be doing 2 live and 2 virtual.
Wow.
Of course, Manufacturing Day is a big one. We'll be doing that again. That was very successful this year. Right. We had over 200 students participating in that. Great. And I'm hoping that I get to do a women's event. I really want to do a women in business event. So, fantastic. Yeah, so be on the lookout. Actually, at our January 1st Friday, which I didn't bring that calendar, but I think it's January 5th. I think it's when that is. I will be doing, what's coming up, what's going to happen in the Chamber in 2022. So I'll be doing that at our first Friday in January.
All right. So anything that we left out, the Chamber website.
Yes,
very
definitely.
Active and lots of information. Well, we look forward to many more times talking with the new Chamber, a new Effingham County Chamber of Commerce CEO and President, Lucinda Hart. Lucinda, it's a pleasure talking with you and look forward to many more times here on City Spotlight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. And coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll change locations and talk Effingham Unit 40 schools with Superintendent Mark Doan. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on here in Effingham. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this new on-location episode on Effingham. As you can see, we've changed locations, and we're going to talk all about Effingham Unit 40 schools. And to help us out, a familiar guest to the program, we welcome back Superintendent of Effingham Unit 40 schools, Mark Doan. Mark, pleasure as always.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Great to be back in your offices here, taping here on November 16th. Great to catch up on Effingham Unit 40 schools here near the end of 2021. I know you have some talking points you want to go over, Mark, but let's inform our viewers. When did this current school year start and how's it gone?
Well, we started a week late. This is our 3rd year of our construction project at the junior high. So we started a week later than usual, but I think people are getting used to that now as a 3rd year. Obviously, this is this year, again, we're in all 5 days a week, but now it's been full days. Mm-hmm. And so there's been some transition. We're always concerned, and we talked about last night at our board meeting in regards to the stress level of staff and trying to meet that. I know Eastern has made some recent adjustments as well. So we're concerned not only about staff, but students and parents and working through this and trying to get through this unfortunate situation.
It is what it is. We are still currently in a pandemic. Last tape with Mark at the beginning of this year, so good to talk to you at the end of the year. Yeah. So let's talk about those building projects. I know we've talked about them almost every time we've had you on. What's the latest on your building projects?
Well, this past summer was the 3rd year of the junior high project. We're pretty much done. We're doing some last minute painting and things like that haven't been finished. our goal is in March to have an open house. And there's still a couple things we're going to do this summer, which is probably we're looking to paint the outside of the building. It's been over 20 years since the building's been painted. And then also we're looking at behind or on the east side is some old asphalt that through 3 years of construction and heavy equipment is not level. And so we're going to look at tearing that up, chewing that up, and recovering that. So make sure water gets away and just make sure it's a nice level place. And it'll be, I think that'll pretty much take care of the junior high.
And other schools, any other work that's been done since the last time we
also this past summer, we started about 3 years ago, we decided working on trying to bring back our preschool program. We'd had an early childhood program, but we expanded that last year. This year we took back East Side School, which is on the other side of town, and renovated that building as well at the same time. So we have roughly 80 spots for preschool students, which is a very big need here in Effingham and probably in the area, but we're trying to meet that need. But the last building besides that we're going to work on is Southside School, which is a grade school. We've done portions of that, but we really need to re-roof a portion and then also put an HVAC system in. We're still using window air conditioners, but that would be roughly, I think we looked at it the other day, about almost $30 million over the last 6 years on upgrading our buildings.
As we've talked over these last 3 years and all the times that we've had you on City Spotlight to see the progress and things get completed, it must be satisfying to see these projects on facility upgrades get completed.
Sure it is. It's one of those things when you start that long planning process of will this ever come to fruition? And then you throw in the pandemic and that junior high project was really difficult in regards to planning and preparation because you had a 10-week window and then you're done for 9 months. Then you have another 10-week window and you're done for 9 months and then another 10 weeks. So the planning and process between our architect and our construction manager and our staff being flexible to be able to do that because we didn't have a place for those students. So it's that's been a real undertaking. It's not like we're building another building. It was just out there. You could work on it year round. It was prepare, work, and get out of there so we could have school.
So it sounds like a lot of obstacles to go through there, a lot of hurdles. So when we talked last, Mark, at the beginning of the year, and we've talked about this on lots of educators here on City Spotlight during the pandemic, the importance of the use of technology. And I know at the beginning of the pandemic it was pretty heavy for everybody. But now that everybody seems to be back in class, what's the latest on your technology?
Well, last year we had plans to start a one-to-one initiative and implement that, and so the pandemic kind of pushed that quicker, which is fine. So there's been a lot of trial and tribulation, and we've added some staff on the back end, not only a director of technology but also some IT staff, just for covering that. And then we've been doing some training in regards to just teaching with that technology, right? And then one of the other parts of that is not just a one-to-one for every student, but we also have upgraded and are in the process of upgrading interactive boards in every one of our classrooms. Wow. So we've done South Side and ELC and East Side, and this year we're working on the junior high and high school, and then next year we'll work on Central. And that's, this year we bought 100 interactive boards, and it's a matter of putting them up and utilizing those. So we're going away from the projectors and the bulbs and things like that and making them interactive boards. And so it's really trying to provide that learning environment for students and staff that help our kids be successful.
It's amazing how in a blink of an eye the technology impacts us all. It impacts different areas of life sooner than others. And there you go. You just mentioned all those interactive boards. It's just a couple years ago, maybe you weren't even thinking about that.
Sure, and even just everything we take for granted now is like Zoom, right? I mean, I've been in this business for a while, where you always had face-to-face meetings, which are good and I think are still needed, but having that Zoom capability or other technology opportunities really helps that communication aspect. And it's much easier to get people together for 30 minutes to 45 minutes when they don't have to travel somewhere.
Right.
So it's just more efficient. So it's one of those things. years ago we didn't have cell phones, right? And, now think about, how do you mean you didn't have a cell phone? But, and you have Zoom and those other types of technologies that some people, we're using portions of that, but not like we're relying on now. And so, especially when you have students out for remote, it does help, whether it's a Google Classroom format or synchronous or asynchronous learning, on whatever you choose to do as a school district. It's all about trying to help that kid and student be successful.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how far along the technology of Zoom, how important it was at the beginning of the pandemic. Now it's an extra resource if needed.
Sure. And I think it's second nature now.
Absolutely. You also have down that you want to mention about positions added to help students out.
Yes, obviously with the pandemic that started in March of 2020 and worked through last year. During last year, we looked at areas and things we could do to help our students and help our staff. And so one of those areas was to add a social worker at the elementary. We're talking about kindergarten, preschool level. So we're very blessed as a school district to have either a guidance counselor or a social worker at every school. And we have multiple in a couple schools. So, having that support for students in this time that's needed even more, it was very key. We also looked at, we hired a couple math interventionists. A lot of our money and time in the past has been spent on reading interventionists, but we also looked at math, and so we added those positions this year. And we're going to evaluate how those work this year, and if if they've been successful, which we hope and think they will be, we'll hopefully can continue that. And so those are just a couple of areas. We're also looking at, we've had a gifted program, but actually a gifted coordinator, starting that program back up, and those types of issues, and just also summer school and after school programs. So those are types of things that we've looked at and are starting and have started, and it's just a matter of, we hope not to just have these for the next year or two. It'll be ongoing. And so anything we can do to provide help and support for students and staff and parents, that helps our kids be successful.
Thank you very much. Final question for Mark, and again, we're taping here middle of November, very much a lot of school year left. Prior to us taping this episode, between actually the last time Mark and I taped, Mark informed me that he is retiring at the end of the school year. So Mark, I know you have a lot of school year left in front of you, but since this is probably the last time I'll get to interview you as superintendent, and thank you for all the times over the last 6 years. It's been an absolute treat. If you could reflect just for a moment here, you've obviously accomplished the things probably you wanted to. I mean, I'm just talking with you, the physical changes.
Sure.
Having to conduct and educate during a pandemic. What's something that you're proud of?
Well, I think those are kind of the things that during these times, and I don't think anybody that went into education, and any family or parent, anybody could guess what or predict what we all went through and are going through, right? Because it's still going on. And so I think just I'm so proud of our staff and our administrators and leadership, and our Board of Education for providing the leadership and the funds to be successful even in the times that are even harder. We've done some really good things with learning environments, and those are huge, but it all really comes down to the relationship between students and teachers. And whatever we can do as administrators and leaders and board members to help solidify and support that relationship helps our kids. And so the biggest thing, we've done some other things in regards to curriculum, and we've added new textbooks and those types of things. The one-to-one has really been a big thing for our district as well. So there's just a multitude of things, but they're not things that I did. They're things that we did as a district, and so many people behind and on the front lines when I talk about in the classrooms and working with kids. So it's been a positive experience, kind of bittersweet. But it's time for new leadership here, and the Unit 40 will continue to be a beacon in Southern Illinois.
Well, thank you for your contributions, and we appreciate all the times Mark Doan has been on City Spotlight over these last 6 years. I can't believe it's been this many years we've been doing the program, and Mark has been gracious enough to join us for almost every season, and best of luck the rest of this school year.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And that'll do it for this latest City Spotlight episode here in Effingham. We've been on location, and thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in to City Spotlight. You can check out past episodes, including the one you're watching right now, on YouTube. To check out recent episodes of Central and Southeastern Illinois towns featured on City Spotlight, search on YouTube, City Spotlight, with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the last 5 episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.